Hello and welcome to the Flickering Torch, and today I'm going to tell you about the time I had to commit regicide just to have a little bit of fun in that guy's game. Oh. So this is going to be kind of like a story time video about my run-in with that guy, and it was a very prolific that guy. Now I'm going to be changing his name for this story just because I don't want people to find him and harass him and stuff. And, you know, that guys can eventually change and become fun people to play with, so, you know, I don't want to throw him under the bus too much. A little bit of context about this. So, this was the time I was in 6th form, the last point before you go to university, for any Americans watching, and we'd been playing in our lunch break Shadowrun, and eventually got to the point where we all wanted to just kind of play something a bit different, a bit fantasy, and I didn't really want to GM anymore, because I go through these phases of kind of wanting to be a player and then wanting to be a GM, because I kind of need that time to recharge. So, what we decided to do is join a club that my friend had found out about. So my friend had basically found out about a club that was running in his local library that was just starting up and needed players. So we thought, yeah, we'll go along and play. So we go and we meet a really cool guy there. Again, I'm going to change his name. We'll call him Rob. He had like really fiery red hair, really nice, really cool guy. It was him and that guy. Now, that guy is a classic example of a bunch of negative stereotypes about Dungeons & Dragons players. He came with a proper, like, fedora. He spoke to us in this super condescending posh accent that he was very clearly putting on, like, constantly. And he's one of those players who runs D&D as a GM, kind of adversarially, but in this kind of way where he'll just constantly screw you over, because he kind of uses the power that he gets as a GM to kind of inflict it on other people, which is really just not a fun way to play. So we start playing, and the descriptions are kind of very bland, very boring. And we're working for this like weird tyrant character, and we're just kind of like supposed to be his like lackeys, I guess. This weird tyrant character would like kind of belittle us and talk down to us and stuff, but he was supposed to be like the main quest giving NPC. We later figured out that this is like a self-insert for that guy Adam here. So we get to this sort of house on a hill that has no windows and only one door in. We decide that, oh, this is a place we need to stay for the night. And by we decide, I mean we're told that this is a place that we're going to need to stay for the night. So we have to go inside and clear it out. And I shit you not, there is a trap in every single room of this house, and every single trap there is no way of getting past it without taking damage. Let me give you an example of this. This is basically one of the first things we saw in the game, was a puddle of water with 2 electrodes in it that was very clearly electrified. And it's a puddle, mind you. It was described as a puddle. So it's essentially a flat floor, puddle of water, 2 electrodes in. So we're like, oh, we'll just pick up the wooden door, lay it across and walk across, because we thought that was how you're supposed to solve this. No, can you make me a dex check? I'm just walking across a flat piece of wood. Nah, I don't care, it slips and slides all over the floor. That's not how a heavy wooden door would work, but okay. 15. Oh, you fall in and get electrocuted. On a 15! I'm walking across a flat plank of wood. I get electrocuted on a 15. Take 2d10 lightning damage. Fucking hell. You're in plate mail, aren't you? Yeah. Take an additional whatever. Jesus Christ. That's like our first encounter, a literally unsolvable puzzle that you have to take damage on. Madness. Absolute madness. Every single trap in this house you can't avoid and you have to take damage from. It got to the point where one of the player characters died and then was like very weirdly resurrected with a lizard arm that paid no consequence to the story and was never hinted at before. Anyway, we eventually clear out this whole house. It takes like maybe 3 sessions just to clear out like 5 rooms of a dungeon. And the last room is like a banquet hall with this big scary door at the other side of it. Okay, well, I detect good and evil, find out there's some big evil bad thing behind the door. Okay, no one opened the door. Let's lead everyone inside. Let's make sure everyone's fine. So then we have this weird banquet scene with everyone where one of the people I'd brought along to the game was this kind of shy girl who enjoyed playing with us but was super sort of shy. So now this Lord Self-Insert character starts hitting on this poor girl, and it's super awkward for everyone around the table because she's very clearly uncomfortable, we're all uncomfortable, like the whole thing is a bit... GMs, don't hit on people in the game, it's weird, it's really weird, especially with your weird self-inserts. Don't do it, weird. Anyway, so we then get to a point where, okay, we've been beaten down by everything in this dungeon, so let's continue going. Essentially, we try and like convince this lord not to open the door, but no, he's going to open it, whatever. Screw us and our knowledge of things. But it's like made out like we still have to follow this guy, so he sends us on like a hunting mission. We essentially get all these elk in a cart, and then there's like a scream, and we're told we have to go down to the river and investigate. Okay, so we can take the cart, right? No, you can't take the cart. It won't fit down there. Okay. You've got that spell that lets you fake fire and stuff. Yeah, can we fake a fire on this so that anything that comes around won't come and steal our elk? Yeah, no, that's fine. So we go down, there's like 5 rounds of combat with some gnolls. We come back and all our elk's gone. Well, that's weird. I thought we set the fire trap thing so no one would think to come here. Oh, well, 2 gnolls came, and they thought it would be really funny if they threw their buddy in. So they threw their buddy in, and because he didn't set on fire, they realised it was an illusion, and they stole everything. What? We were gone for 5 minutes, and they already had decided it would be funny to throw their friend into the fire. Kind of call bullshit on that, but whatever. We keep playing. And then we get, like, attacked and harassed by these elves who are way higher than us, and they beat us up and basically make us, like, grovel for our lives. Weird game. Like a weird power trip. Everything in this game seemed like a weird power trip to this guy. And we decided enough is enough. We're done here. We're done here. And sort of on our lunch break in sixth form, we were like, we don't want to play in this game anymore, but we've been paying to play, so we're going to eke out fun in this last session. We're finally going to have some fun in this last session. But we're not going to metagame it to screw this guy over. We're going to figure out an in-character way to kill off this self-insert because we're so done playing. And I will fully admit this is very, very petty of us, but gosh darn it, we're going to have some fun in this last session. So, I say we will plan everything during the session. We're going to do it in character. We're not going to screw this guy over not playing the game properly. We're going to play the game properly and get our fun. We start playing, and it's another weird banquet session that we guess was just like a thing so we could hit on this poor shy girl. Anyway, so he starts hitting on this girl, and then my character like stands up and basically asks that person to round up the rest of the people and meet him outside. I kind of, at this point, like steal narrative control. My inner GM sort of takes over, and I'm like, we're all going to have fun. I'm going to drag us all into fun. So I describe like my paladin very seriously and kind of lamenting something on the wall, stroking his beard and looking very ponderous and very clearly contemplating something. As the moon sets behind him, he's walking across this battlement and he beckons his companions over and he says something along the lines of, "It's with a heavy heart I have to tell you there is only one way forward. He will open that door, that lord," the self-insert character, "and we must kill him. It's the only way." So yeah, essentially I just tell everyone tell everyone around the table, including the GM, I'm killing your self-insert, damn it. I'm killing him. He's gonna die. So we have this like fairly watertight plan where one of the player characters is going to make sure no one gets out the door, make sure we're not caught at all. One of the players is going to shoot the guy, and I, because I've got the highest charisma, I'm going to persuade him to come outside. So I persuade the Lord to come outside. I give him one last chance to not want to open the door. He says, "I'm going to open the door." So that's it. I give the signal. The guy gets shot. Instant kill damage. And he's dying there. And as he's dying there, this character that was maybe mentioned twice like runs out and he's like, "I saw everything that happened. You're the bad guys." And I'm like, "I'm the highest ranking noble here. You don't know anything." And this guy's like, "No, I pulls out this ring from fucking nowhere." And he's like, "I'm the true blah, 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 blah." And I was like, that seems like bollocks, but okay. And then I was like, wait, our guy was like waiting on the door, making sure no one came out. Oh, this guy rolled really high stealth. Really high stealth. Oh, did he? Did he? Our friend didn't roll perception. No, really high stealth. Didn't need perception roll. Okay. And then I did something that you never should do in a D&D session. I said, I'm making a blank roll, and just rolled it. So I said, fine. I shout to the people, "This is the guy that killed him. I saw him do it." I rolled persuasion, I rolled the dice, and the dice gods were with us that day. This is probably the only time I've ever rolled well in any RPG session ever. Nat 20 persuasion roll. And at this point, like, most of the table was kind of like already against him because he kept trying to get us in trouble for something that no one would figure out that we'd done. But the dice gods were with us that day, so we had to say, everyone, suspects it's that guy, and they go to charge at him, but teleports out of there. No illusion that he was a wizard before or anything like that, but okay, whatever. And I thought that was the end of it. That was the end of the session. We all went, and then we informed him, "Oh, we're not coming next week. We've all got to revise for our exams or something. And I didn't think about it for a year and a bit, or probably a little bit over a year and a bit, until I was in uni. And I was doing commission painting of minis in uni, just kind of like supplement my income. And Addison from the Pod of Many Things wanted some minis painting. He wanted like a paladin, and I think it was a figure of like Red Hood from the DC Miniatures game. I'll try and pop a little thing there. And I got talking to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, can you come pick them up from this D&D club I'm in? Because we'll be in the same place." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And it's the same D&D club, but our friend Adam isn't there. Peculiar. Turns out he'd fallen out with someone else. Apparently, he was prolifically not very nice to people and was like bullying in his GMs. Anyway, I joined the club at this point. That's a whole other story. I basically get to be like a committee member and some other things because I got really invested in this club at this time. And I met James there, and I told him this story, and James said, "Oh, you don't mean Adam, do you?" Because I left his name out. I was like, "Yeah, I do mean Adam." And he basically regaled me with his other story. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, and I also found his Reddit account." "Oh, did you? You want to send that across?" And there is, not a word of a lie, a whole Reddit post there about how do I punish my players for this. And it was the story of what we'd done, omitting a lot of detail to make us look like the bad guys. Like, oh, this Lord character who they had no reason to suspect, apart from the fact that we wanted to open the big bad evil thing. Oh, I need to really punish these guys. And then we got down to the rest of his Reddit posts. So the club had been expanding and growing with players to the point where they needed 2 sets of people to run. So another person had decided they want a GM. But they didn't want to GM Dungeons & Dragons, they wanted to GM Anima, which should be totally fine, right? A GM wants to run a different game. No, there's a Reddit post on there. How do I get this person and force them to play Dungeons & Dragons because I don't want them to play a different game at my club? Like, dude, just let people play what the fuck they want to play. There's no harm if they want to play Anima, let them play Anima. Anyway, so maybe like 2 weeks ago, probably about a month ago actually, I went on his Reddit history again because I wanted to get the post for this. I've decided to omit it because I don't want you to be able to search the text and find him, and you know, he's got a new post. Interestingly enough, he's got several posts across all the D&D boards. We're looking for GMs for a West Marches style game. The peculiar thing about this is a lot of them have got a lot of downvotes. Interesting. Why would these purely conspicuous posts have some downvotes? So I went into one, and I noticed that there's basically no information there. It just says, "Message me, da 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 da." Okay. And then I read some of the comments, and one of the comments is basically a guy saying, "Oh, I'll drop you a message, I seem interested." A message from our friend Adam saying, "Oh, I will message you, I can't post it in a comment here." And then a message underneath saying, from the original guy, "Message this guy, do not respond to him, I have reported him, he's trying to set up a pyramid scheme." What? He's trying to set up a Dungeons & Dragons based pyramid scheme. And our friend Adam is basically trying to recruit GMs to get paid by players, the GMs will then pay him to be part of this like big campaign or something. And it's very obviously like a pyramid scheme. Like, it's so bizarre and weird that that guy is trying to start a Dungeons & Dragons pyramid scheme. But I thought I'd add it here as a little addendum. That's utterly bizarre. So, please let me know in the comments stories about your experiences with that guy at your clubs. Follow me on Twitter at @FlickeringTorch. Like and subscribe to this channel here, and don't forget to watch our Blades in the Dark actual play, Blades in the Dark Red Herrings, at 7:30 British Standard Time over on twitch.tv/theflickeringtorch. That's all for me today, and as always, happy gaming.